Hello everyone. First of all, I'm new to YouTube. This is my first upload. It's on my phone, so sorry for the shaking. Just woke up a little bit ago. I will be trying to do vlogs on a regular basis. Other than that, I'll be giving my own personal ideas and opinions on some topics at hand, things I've learned throughout my life, many other things along those lines. But I'll do my best to get an upload each day for you all. My account may have a name that you're not familiar with, but we'll get to that later. For now, I'd just like to talk about a video I recently saw by Vsauce that is called Juvenoia. It's actually very informative, and it's very inspirational. The way he explained it is, each generation believes that the generation after them are worse, or things are worsening. Hence the term, kids these days. Such as, for example, kids these days, they listen to too much pop, their music is too centralized, too much the same, no uniqueness to it. He also goes into detail about something that William Strauss and another person by the last name of Howe called the Strauss-Howe. It's a theory they created that actually fits very well. For example, they call it the turning effect. For example, take for example after World War II. About the 1940s, late 40s, early 50s to mid-60s. People were all about not wanting war, not wanting people to hate each other anymore, but there was still segregation to some form or effect. And in turn, it came to what was called the first turning effect, as I call it. I can't remember the exact term for it, of what he called it, where people begin to segregate and notice the problems. And then around the 70s, 80s, mid-90s, it's what's referred to as the unraveling, where things become different. Things are so segregated to a point at some specific period in time during the unraveling that everybody realizes something has to be done. But what? What can be done about this? That's what comes into the next part of it, after the unraveling, called the crisis, where everybody bands together as one and focuses on making things better. He goes on to explain later in the video that the next expected quote-unquote crisis will happen around 2025. Now, there are many things going on in the world, in America, all around, in every country, that people aren't proud of. Me, myself, I will not go into that because I know I will upset many people. If you would like to hear about it, please comment me or like this video below, and I will do my best to explain further in detail of that. But for now, let's just focus on Juvenoia. He also goes on later to explain how people believe that we are more intelligent, that people of our current generation, for example myself, I am 24. And do I believe that I am more intelligent than the people that came after me, the generation after me? Absolutely. Do I believe I'm smarter than the generation that came before? Yes. Is it true? 100% absolutely not. It is because of the way our brain manipulates and perceives. Everybody sees things differently. Now, there's also one thing you have to keep in mind. Due to this effect, there will always be the term kids these days. He also goes into detail earlier in his video about the teenagers. It wasn't something that actually happened until around the 1920s, when kids were actually able to get a job during the gilded/industrial era, when kids were able to get jobs at much younger ages, earn money, and buy things for themselves. Around that time, yes, they could be 14 years old. Nowadays, you have to be minimum 16 to make money, buy things for yourself, not rely on your parents to buy you what they think you want. Yes, parents are better nowadays at asking, what would you like us to get you something? And even then, kids will say they want something, they get it, and realize, after 2-3 weeks, I really didn't want this, and they just leave it aside, basically tossed to the wind. Never really pick it up again. Am I a person like this? Absolutely. Have I bought things that I realized I didn't want? Certainly. Have I seen things I've wanted but never ever had the money for? Like, for example, a 84 Camaro Z28. Yeah. But what I'm basically saying is, just because you think you're more intelligent or better than someone else, there's always someone better than you at something. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how special you may be, there's always somebody who has it better or worse than you. Myself, I am an epileptic. I have a seizure disorder. Does that mean that someone has it far better than me? Absolutely. Does it mean that somebody has the same problems as me somewhere else in the world? Absolutely. Does it mean that someone else in the world has it far worse than me? Absolutely. Take my roommate, for example. I won't be giving names or anything to that matter. But he has family and he has relatives. I also have relatives. But one of his brothers is completely blind. Another has cerebral palsy. Is that far worse than what I have? 100% yes. But in this vlog, I was just using that as an example. You may be thinking you're down in the dumps, having it as hard as you can, only making, say, $500 a month after work. And you may have a friend that's making close to $1,500 and you hate them and resent them for it. Is that natural? To an extent, yes. But hate and resent are strong words. I prefer to use the term jealous because they have it easier than you, in your mind. But though they may be making more, they may end up with less money overall, due to bills, credit cards, other financial obligations. You may have none, therefore you're making more than them. Just remember, no matter how bad you think you have it, you will always meet someone having something better than you. They may be better at, say, sports. Am I good at sports? Hell no. I suck at sports. But I digress. This vlog is mostly going back to the topic at hand, Juvenoia and the turning effect. And let's just say that during this turning effect, about every 20 years it happens when you go from childhood to young adulthood when you're about 19 to 21 years old. Then when you're about 39 to 41, etc., etc., the cycle continues to where you reach a different stage in your life, when you begin to realize some of the problems you had may not be as bad as you expected them when you were younger. Some of those problems may even be worse. But for all intent and purposes, let's just keep it to where, say you're a child, and you get a bicycle on your 12th birthday. You love that bicycle. You took it everywhere with you. You rode it to all your friends' houses. And then you came to be about 22, 23 years old, and you get a car. And you wreck it. But you still have that bike. But because you wrecked your car, you never want to ride that bicycle again ever since you got that car. You think you're too old for it. You think you don't have a need for it anymore. Are you correct? In your own opinion, yes. In my opinion, no. You still have a way of transportation. Get to work, get to a friend's place. It may take you a lot longer, but you'll get there. But the way I look at it, with the way Vsauce explained it, he goes into very further detail of Juvenoia and generation gaps than I do. For me, I'm on the verge of a new generation. I was born early 90s. And when I was younger, I was innocent, I was a young youth. I really didn't care at all what people thought about me. Then I hit high school. I became very self-conscious, very introverted, very to myself. I started feeling lonely, feeling unappreciated by people, feeling like people were trying to control my life. Is that completely true? No. But in my mind, it was. Because I was still young, naive, narcissistic, still to an extent, but I have learned to understand who I am better than I did when I was younger. I still have a lot of life ahead of me, and a lot of life lessons to be learned. Many of you will be the same way. Many of you may have learned all the life lessons you think you can get. but every day you live, you learn a new life lesson. You may not notice it at first, but when you look back, you'll eventually realize life, people say who enjoy it to the fullest, life is a game to be played. Is it? Yes. It's a game where you make choices. It's kind of like The Sims, but instead of being the god of it, the world you see in a way would revolve around you personally. Everybody can have that perspective sometime in their life. Did I have that perspective? Yes, and I still do to this day to some point. But I also understand that the things I say and the things I do not only impact me, but others as well. Say I speak to a person and they tell me, get the hell out of my face. I will say, gladly, and I'll just leave them be. If they come up to me and start a conversation, I'm not in the mood to talk, I won't say, hey, get the fuck out of here. I'll say, I'm not really in the mood for conversation right now. Give me a little bit and maybe we can talk. I'm just not in a talking mood. If you stay polite and kind, people are more willing to accept you. Yes, though you are kinder, it may seem like people are walking, quote unquote once more, walking all over you. They will, to some people, in my opinion, I've been walked on, trampled over by the way people have treated me. But looking back now, they may have treated me wrongly, and I may have treated them fairly and nicely, but I gave them the respect they deserved. And I try to stay true and hold to that. Sometimes in life, it can be much harder. But just remember, life is more than just a game. Life is a journey. We are corporeal beings in an incorporeal existence. Basically meaning we have a solid form, we can feel the grass, we can sense things, we have emotions. But when we're gone, are we really gone? Are we born again? Are we given second lives? Second chances? I believe so. Some become more knowledgeable at a young age due to harder parts when they're younger. But that's beside the point. All in all, basically what I'm saying is, accept people for who they are, accept generations after you for what they are, and with all this social media and connection around the world now, for example, I'm speaking to you now, and 3 days later you may end up seeing this video. I'm speaking to you in the present, in the past, and the future, all at the same time. And for example, stranger danger. It's a coined term that's been used for many years. For example, there's more troubles that come from the neighborhood than an external force. With social media out and about, you may have friends that are from Africa, Asia, Japan, which yes, part of Asia, but beside the point. You can have friends from all over the world. Just look at some of the greatest YouTubers. PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and Markiplier. 3 really, really great friends, always talking about each other here and there. They get along great, but they live on completely different parts of the world. Completely different ways of living. And then you have those who feel obligated to make it hell for them. And those feel obligated to make them feel better about themselves. I'd just like to say, if it wasn't for those 3, I probably would have a much different perspective on life and be much more negative. Because to me, Markiplier, yes, he screams and yells a lot in his videos, but he does that for the entertainment side. He's actually, from what I've heard from Jack and PewDiePie, he's a very caring, loving, easygoing person. And the way you see him treat his dog Chica, in my opinion, is a confirmation of that. Jacksepticeye, he's more on the lines of witty, funny, dark, dry, toilet humor. But that's just my opinion. But all in all, he tries to make the best of his life, make the best of every day, no matter what mood he's in. They all try to have fun. They try to teach life lessons. And for the end of this video, I'm quoting something Jacksepticeye said on one of his vlogs. Stay positive. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Deuces.